Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my audio is clear?
His Prabhu is clear.
Thank you so much. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chevam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirye Naste Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavate Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nistike. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we are continuing reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, 24th chapter, entitled Chanting the Song Sung by Lord Shiva. Text 69. My dear sons of the king, just execute your occupational duty as king with a pure heart. Just chant this prayer, fixing your mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. That will bring you all good fortune, for the Lord will be very much pleased with you. There, text 70. Therefore, O sons of the king, the supreme personality of Godhead, Hari is situated in everyone's heart. He is also within your hearts. Therefore, chant the glories of Lord and always meditate upon him continuously. Text 71. My dear princes, in the form of a prayer, I have delineated the yoga system of chanting the holy name. All of you should take this important stotra within your minds and promise to keep it in order to become great sages. By acting silently like a great sage and by giving attention and reverence, you should practice this method. Text 72. This prayer was first spoken to us by Lord Brahma, the master of all creators. The creators headed by Bhrigu were instructed in these prayers because they wanted to create. Text 73. When all the Prajapatis were ordered to create by Lord Brahma, we chanted these prayers in praise of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and became completely free from all ignorance. Thus, we were able to create different type of living entities. Text 74. A devotee of Lord Krishna, whose mind is always absorbed in him, who with great attention and reverence chants this stotra, will achieve the greatest perfection of life without delay. Text 75. In this material world, there are different type of achievements, but of all of them, the achievement of knowledge is considered to be the highest because one can cross the ocean of nuisance only on the boat of knowledge. Otherwise, the ocean is impassable. Although, text 76, although rendering devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and worshipping Him are very difficult, if one vibrates or simply reads this stotra, composed and sung by me, he will very easily be able to invoke the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 77. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the dearmost objective of all auspicious benedictions. A human being who sings this song, sung by me, can please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee, being fixed in the Lord's devotional service, can acquire whatever he wants from the Supreme Lord. Text 78. A devotee who rises early in the morning with folded hands chant this prayer sung by Lord Shiva and gives facility to others to hear them certainly became free from all bondage to fruitive activities. Text 79. My dear sons of the king, the prayers I have recited to you are meant for pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul. I advise you to recite these prayers, which are as effective as great austerities. In this way, when you are mature, your life will be successful and you will certainly achieve all your desired objective without fail. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of 4th Canto, 24th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Chanting the Song Sang by Lord Shiva. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prithvish Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Yes, Shri Krishna Prabhu, whenever you're ready, you can start, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandat Pranam. Thank you so much. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yogam Sikshashtamekam Purusha Puranam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sariradari Krupambuditamaham Prapadye Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So this chapter we are seeing about Rudra Gita, Lord Shiva's prayers that was given by Lord Shiva to the Prachetas. So the last part of this chapter from verse number 69 to 79. So we are looking at the Lord Shiva himself is glorifying these verses and the origin of how he received this prayers and how these prayers are so important in the path of Bhakti Yoga, and also how these prayers can award one the highest benediction. So the highest benediction is, we all know the highest benediction is obtaining the love of Godhead. So these prayers are filled with so much of meaning, like we have all seen. Um, Even a lot of Lord Krishna's um, pastimes and uh, some of the aspects of creation and how the material world people are suffering, and after they are after the greed of material enjoyment. So he's touching many philosophical points, glorification of the Lord. So these prayers are filled with emotions and feelings and a lot of transcendental knowledge. So it's like so the origin, we'll just go through these verses. The Lord Shiva gives the origin of these verses and also the greatness of one who chants these verses early in the morning and constantly meditates on these topics. What is the goal, that what is the fruit, phalam. So we all know that the devotees, they don't aspire for any fruits, but this is not like the fruit that we get in the material world, which is temporary. And also these benedictions are spiritual benedictions, which are meant to purify our heart and also make us more blissful and satisfy. In the material world there is nothing called permanent, but the only thing that is permanent is the consciousness is always permanent, and that consciousness, when it is focused on the Lord, then the consciousness becomes purified, and the mind and the intelligence and the senses, they all follow in sequence. Um, so starting from verse number 69, so Lord Shiva is giving these blessings to Prachetas. Now all the verses that he sang, the which is called the Rudra Gita, is very poetically sung. We will also share a link today, so how you can recite these prayers. It takes about 10 to 12 minutes. So if you memorize, it'll be faster, probably. So, and while reciting, you can also meditate upon the meanings. So there are several verses that when you recite the verses, the meaning will kind of flash in your heart. So it's advisable that you kind of go through the meanings so that when you recite these prayers, the meanings will come into your heart. So So blessings from Lord Shiva is so there are many blessings here. He's saying Swadharmam Anutishtanto. So the kings, he's giving the blessings to the kings, and he's saying, as a king, they have to rule over the kingdom. So they are not going to leave everything and go away. So they are going to rule over the kingdom. By meditating on these prayers and fixing their mind upon the lotus feet of the Lord, uh, Lord Shiva is saying, you execute your occupational duty and rule over the kingdom with a pure heart. So this is again, so whatever may be one's varna, like one may be a Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya, or Shudra, it doesn't matter. So anyone, they can be engaged in the Lord's service, and then they can please the Lord with their devotional service. So keeping the Lord's bhakti in the center of their heart. So that is the secret of perfection in life. So here the whole song sung by Lord Shiva, Rudra Gita, is like a prayer, right? So the Hare Krishna mantra that we are reciting, that is also a prayer. In the Hare Krishna mantra, there are several acharyas have given several meditation points for each of the words. But in simple, Prabhupada gives, O energy of the Lord, Hare, Hara, Mother, please kindly engage me in your service. So he just makes it very simple. My dear Lord Krishna, my dear Lord Rama, O energy of the Lord, Hara, please kindly engage me in your service. So this is like the prayer of Hare Krishna mantra, the mood that in which the devotee prays when he's chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Similarly, these Rudra Gita also several wonderful meanings. So once you understand the meanings, and when you chant these mantras, you can meditate on the meaning, and that will give you the results that Lord Shiva is bestowing, the benedictions Lord Shiva is bestowing here. So, so the bhakti is causeless. It says ahaituki apratihata. Bhakti is without cannot be stopped by any material situation. So so in this case, the prayer's recitation is like Archanam, Vandanam. So it's under the category of Vandanam. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam. So we are praying to the Lord in the mood of, in these Vaishnavas, like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Maharishi, they all have recited these prayers. So we are just in the parampara system. We are also taking these prayers, and we are trying to glorify the Lord. In the this mode of offering prayers is one of the authorized form of devotional service, Vandanam. So Prabhupada says that in any situation, in any condition, one can just simply follow this practice. There is no material situation, like one doesn't have to be rich, one doesn't have to have any paraphernalia, one does not need any material circumstances to do this. So all he has to do is recite using his God-given, senses, lips. So he quotes a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Jnane prayasam udapashya namantayeva jivanti mukharitam bhavadiyavartam sthane sthita shrutikatam tanuman vanobir ye prayasho ajita jito api ashithais trilokyam. So Lord is called Ajita, like so devotee by sincerely hearing the topics of Krishna from the self-realized souls, he conquers the Lord out of love, and then he goes to back to Godhead, back to God. So it can be in any situation. Jnane prayasa, like sthane sthita means any situation, any one can be in any varna, in any ashrama. It doesn't matter. So So, and then Lord Shiva is saying that Lord is situated in everyone's heart. He is situated in your heart also. So, always meditate upon Him continuously. This is also significant. So, generally, when we pray to the Lord, we pray in the temple in front of the Murti. But we should also understand that He's always listening from our heart. He's always listening. He's always reciprocating. So we can always recite these prayers in any situation, any condition, constantly within our minds, because Krishna is always listening from our heart. So he is matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So Veda, so Krishna says, I am in the heart of everyone. So I give them remembrance, forgetfulness, and so Krishna is in the heart. So therefore, Lord Shiva is saying you always meditate upon him continuously. So he uses the word ashakrut. Ashakrut means not for few moments, not like a particular time. It means continuously. So Prabhupada also saying Kirtanya Sadahari, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying in Sikshashtakam, Kirtanya Sadahari. So the chanting process is so nice that one should use all his time, and in mind also one can chant. He can also remember the holy name of the Lord. So 24 hours daily, like Haridas Thakur was a great example. He was a Namacharya. So he used to chant 192 rounds. So in his mind, softly as well as loudly, there are three varieties of chanting he used to do. 300,000 names daily. So he is a perfect example of how one can ideally use all his time in the chanting the holy name of the Lord. So these prayers are non-different from the holy name of the Lord. So because it's glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here also the words Atmanam Atmastam Sarva Bhuteshu Avasthitam. So in this verse it is said Sarva Bhuteshu Avasthitam. So Prabhupada says that because Krishna is the father of all living entities, Supreme Lord can be easily achieved within. One can search out the Supreme Lord easily within one's heart. He doesn't have to. So when these Vandanam prayers are recited either in front of the deities in the temple or in front of the pictures of Lord Krishna in the home or in front of home deities, or you can be sitting in a quiet location. So it's all Lord is hearing your prayers. So now so Lord Shiva is saying um, he is basically uh, um, giving them a specific instructions, the prachetas. So what he's saying is dhyaya dharayanto munivrataha. So munivrataha is asking them to specifically keep silence and this stotra, to chant the stotra within their minds, so that they can achieve perfection. So, remember, like what the prachetas are trying to do, they are trying to follow their father's advice in the creation process, right? So they are also trying to create progeny. So this this prayers was originally chanted by Lord Brahmaji, and also Lord Brahmaji gave to the progenitors and the rishis, Bhrigu Muni, and all of the sages. And similarly, Lord Shiva also received. So this was predominantly the creators use for the purification of their heart and when they are engaging in the creation process. Right. So now the prachetas also they are also engaged in the creation process to increase the progeny and also perfecting their own lives. So Lord Shiva is suggesting them that they should follow the Muni Vrata and always fix their mind diya with intelligence. They should practice this stotra. So there are several points that Prabhupada mentions here, like the Bhakti Yoga system is what is recommended by Lord Shiva in this case. This prayers, vandanam, and glorifying the Supreme Lord is the Bhakti Yoga process. And this Bhakti Yoga process is easy to practice compared to the other processes, the Hatha Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, other processes. So that's why Lord Krishna is also recommending in Bhagavad Gita Bhakti Yoga process, and Lord Shiva is also recommending here the Bhakti Yoga process. And so if you look at the Muni Vrata, the silence, Prabhupada also making a point that the silence doesn't mean that you don't speak anything. The actual silence is Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vendayo Vachamshi Vaikunta Gunana Varnane. So you should use your tongue to glorify the Supreme Lord and talk about his pastimes, activities, qualities. So that way it is equivalent to observing silence. So, so and then there are specific glorifications of these verses here. The like I already mentioned, this was first spoken by Lord Brahma, and then the creators, the sages also were instructed in these prayers, headed by Bhrigu Rishi. So there are other sages like Marichi, Atreya, Vasishta, and other sages. They also received from Lord Brahmaji. So, and Lord Shiva also got this from Brahmaji. So, so here we can understand that all the Prajapatis they were ordered by Brahma to create progeny. So, and they chanted these prayers by praising the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they become anena dvasta tamashaha. So they become freed from the all kinds of ignorance. So you can understand the prayer significance here, like so Bhagavatam's blessings is tato rajas tamo bhava kamaloba dayaschaye chetayete ranavidam sitam sattve prashidati. So the Bhagavatam removes the contamination of rajas and tamas and gives the pure goodness. So establishing that pure goodness is what Bhagavatam is promising, and Lord Shiva, these Rudra Gita is also doing the same, giving the same benefit. It's removing all the ignorance in the heart, from the heart. So now the verse number 74. So Lord Shiva is saying, uh, Achirat Streya Apnoti. So Achirat means without delay. So Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita that Partha, I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. For those who constantly engage their minds upon me. So similarly, these prayers are non-different from Krishna. Krishna is absolute. Krishna's name, Krishna's form, qualities, and activities are non-different. So these glorification of Krishna, when we focus on these mantras, understand the meaning and chant, with Krishna is also promising that without delay, Lord Shiva is saying without delay, that we will achieve the greatest perfection. So, so here Prabhupada is saying that generally it takes many many births to understand Krishna and to surrender onto him. So Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. It's very rare to see such a personality. But these prayers, they are giving this benediction. So we should all try to understand this prayer's meaning and achieve perfection. So in the verse number 75, um, so here again the glorification of knowledge, transcendental knowledge is given here. So it is said, Sukham tarati dushparam. So jnana now vyashana arnavam. So the ocean, in this ocean of material world, nescience, the ocean of ignorance, the only way, this is very insurmountable. Insurmountable is very difficult to cross. But if one can achieve the transcendental knowledge, sit on the transcendental knowledge, the boat of transcendental knowledge, it is one can cross over this ocean of nescience. So similarly here, so this prayers is compared to the boat of knowledge. These prayers, the meanings of these prayers, the blessings from these prayers is considered to the boat of knowledge, so which can cross us over this ocean of nescience. So that is another significance of this particular verse. So in the verse number 76, so so here, what is the another significance of invoking the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So we all know how to achieve the Supreme Lord. It is very, very difficult. So in the material world, there are very different types of living entities, like 8,400,000 species. Out of this, only human beings have the ability to transfer from one mode to the another mode. Like if they are in mode of ignorance, they can gradually go to mode of goodness. Only humans have that uh, control. And within humans, there are many categories of people. Uh, they are below the Sudras, like Pulinda, Pukkasha, Yavana. So they don't even have any idea of what is the perfection, all that. So within this human category, there are very few who knows a religion, and hardly anyone practices the true religion. They just want some wealth, some material, aspects. And one who understands religion, and there are very few who understands the importance of going beyond asking for any material benefits. And those who understand the knowledge and to understand the Supreme Lord, there are very, very few. And those who understand the Supreme Lord and establish a relationship with Him, there are very, very few. So it's very, very difficult to understand the Supreme Lord and establish a relationship. So because it's so difficult, Lord Shiva is saying, although to understand Him is very difficult, but if one simply reads this verses, the prayers, Rudra Gita, which was sung by me, he will very easily be able to invoke the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Harim Aradhyati Ashu. So, so this is another blessing that Lord Shiva is giving. So Duraradhyam. So very difficult to worship, but simply by these prayers, one can get the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So this is a great benediction. And then verse number 77 to 79 is saying that all all the blessings, if one can, who sings this song Rudra Gita, such a devotee will be fixed in the Lord's devotional service. Mad Gita Gitat. So this Mad Gita means this Rudra Gita. So if one is able to sing, he will be all auspicious. So he will receive all the benedictions from the Supreme Lord, he will be able to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and also he will be fixed in the devotional service. So these are great benedictions again. To be fixed in the devotional service is very, again, is very difficult task. In the Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says that it takes one to come to the Brahma Bhota realization, then only one becomes fixed in the devotional service. But here, Lord Shiva is giving the benediction that one who chants these verses, he attains the same benefit. And then the last two verses, 78 and 79. So the best time for reciting the prayers is the morning time. So here also one is advised to wake up early in the morning and chant these prayers by Lord Shiva, and he becomes free from all karma bandhanai. Muchyate karma bandhanai. So this karma bandhana is, we all know, fruitive activities, the tendency to do something and then expect something, to do something and expect something. This is like a cycle of a bondage. So Bhagavad Gita says, Yagnartho karmano anyatro lokayam karma bandhanaha tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samacharaha. So all activities should be offered as a sacrifice to Lord Vishnu. Otherwise, the activities performs creates a bondage, like a spider's web. So here, Lord Shiva is giving benediction that one who chants these prayers early in the morning, he will be free from all karma bandhanaha. Muchyate karma bandhanaha. And the last verse for today. Uh, so now he is giving blessings to Prachetas, and is advising them to recite these prayers, which are equivalent to great austerities. In this way, your life will be successful. You will certainly achieve all desired objectives without fail. So we all know, like these Prachetas was time was in Satya Yuga. So in the Satya Yuga, they were doing great austerities under the ocean, But even now, this is Kali Yuga. Even now, the Kali Yuga, the great austerities are chanting the holy name of the Lord. So we can all take this blessings from Lord Shiva and also understand these prayers and recite these prayers so that we can all get perfection. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, all Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrand ki jai. Panchakalpatrubhishya Kripa Sindhu Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo.
Thank you so much, Sri Krishna Prabhuji. Wonderful class, Prabhu. Hare Krishna,
Thank
Prabhu.